In this video, we're going to show you how to actually change a screen, save the settings, and restore them. So over here on the right side in the RV10, we have our USB sticks that normally have the map data. So they're already connected to the EFISes. So what we want to do is change the PFD to a new AF-6600. So I'm going to hit Set, hold down the cal. Now this is the configuration menu. Notice we're in admin settings. I'm going to push in on select. I'm going to push in on transfer files. And then I'm going to go move the cursor by using the joystick, or in this case, the concentric knobs, to back up all system files. And then I'm going to hit start. Now it's going to go through and it's going to back up all the system files. And you can say each one as it's saved onto the USB stick that's in the panel. So this saves all your user settings, all the hobs and tack times, and the configuration for the screen. So it'll take maybe up to a minute here. You can see it working its way through. %. There, everything is saved. Now I'm going to hit back. Now we're back to the normal run software. It's going to boot up and run here. Now, everything's up and running. Now I'm going to turn off the master switch and the screen will shut down. Once the screen shuts down, we're going to remove these 4 screws and unplug all the cables off the back of it and install the new screen. Okay, we've taken all 4 of the screws out. Now we're going to unplug the 15-pin backup cable, the 25-pin EFIS main cable is right here, the Ethernet cable, and the USB extension. There's 2 little buttons you push on the side. Now they come out. Now the screen is completely unhooked, taken out, and now we're just going to put the new one into the same exact hole. Okay, this is the new screen. Notice this 15-pin connector. This has the backup battery power. The ideal thing to do is disconnect the power from your backup battery, or if you're really careful, these pins though have power on them. If you line them up carefully and just plug them in, you shouldn't have a problem. If you touch one of the pins to the case, you'll probably blow the fuse in the side of the backup battery. So the next thing to do is actually plug all the cables back in, the EFIS main, the EFIS auxiliary 15-pin, the Ethernet, and the USB extension cable. So we'll hook all of those up and we'll place the screen back in. Okay, we have all 4 cables hooked up, Ethernet, including the USB extension cable, and now we're just going to place the screen back into the hole. We'll make sure we feed all these cables kind of in carefully, and we will place the screen back into the hole. There you go. And then we'll go ahead and hook all the screws back up, and then we'll be ready to fire it up. Okay, the new screen's installed. We'll go ahead and take off the protective film. We'll put it on the other screen to protect it. Now we'll go ahead, the autopilot servo switch is on. Now let's go ahead and power it up. Okay, this new screen's powered up and running. Notice we have red X's everywhere. It wants to load a new map cycle. It's also got all kinds of warning about every module's offline. The reason that is we've installed a new module and it doesn't know the serial numbers of all the modules that are attached to it. So the first thing we want to do is we'll go ahead and hit no on the map upgrade. We'll hit set. We'll hold cal down. Now we're into cal. The first thing I'm going to actually do here is I'm going to go down to Advanced SV Network. I'm going to select it. Notice it's got a whole bunch of offline. So we're going to hit scan. It's now going to go through and scan all the devices in the network. If we were replacing the MFD, we would want to scan on the PFD, even though that's not the one we changed. So in this case, it's found everything. If the software had been newer on this screen we installed, we would need to put the same version of software on all the other screens, and we'd have to hit the update button if any of these devices actually were red and said needs update. So now it's found all the devices. So if we actually go back to the main menu, you're going to see that it should find the AHRS, the engine monitor, everything's back up and running. The one difference is all the settings aren't necessarily right though in the hours. So, and I'm going to go ahead and tell it, I'm going to say no on the mapping. So let's go back and fix that. So hit set, hold cal, notice the manifold pressure. We're going to go to admin settings. We're going to hit select, transfer files. Now this time we're going to move the cursor down to restore all user files and hit start. Now it's going to go through and restore every single one of our user settings. And this can take up to a minute or two to actually do that. %, 66. Notice each item as it restores each item, it lists it off. We're at 86%. It's almost done. 93. Long as we're here, I'm going to hit back once. We're going to hit back twice, back 3 times. Now we're going to see make sure we're going to verify the tag, the Hobbs time is there, and all the settings are right. So upgrade map data. That's because there's newer map data on the USB stick that's in it. I'm going to go ahead and hit yes, and we'll get rid of that warning. So notice it just did the map. So then we can hit back. Okay. There it is. The AHRS is back. All of our settings are back. Notice the tack time. If we hit check maintenance, the tack, the Hobbs time, all of our service items, everything's back and is all restored. It should be ready to go now. So the one thing that is not saved is the magnetometer calibration. So when you install a new screen, you're going to need to go through and do a new mag cal. Everything